Hey guys, this week on UnderThem.com we are talking about work-life balance, and that is part of the reason that I am recording here in the playroom with a little buddy behind me. I think he's playing Power Rangers at the moment, so you might hear him or see him pop up throughout this video, but I work from home. I love working from home. I've been working from home for about 7 years now, and yes, it brings its own unique struggles and challenges, but I also feel very lucky to have those opportunities, and I wouldn't trade it, especially not at this point. So what I wanted to share in this video is something that goes along with this full work-life balance collection, and it's something that's very practical, very tangible, and it's like a scheduling strategy that I started using recently. I just came up with this when I got back from summer vacation, a vacation over the summer, and I was feeling frazzled. I was feeling like I needed to get things back in order. Summer vacations are always difficult, especially as a work from home mom. It adds some unique challenges to everything. So I wanted to come up with a way where I could keep track of my own schedules and the various things that I need to do. The house stuff, the kids stuff, and my husband's stuff as well. I feel like there's a lot of working pieces. So this is a simple strategy that I've been using and has been working well for me. And I encourage you to either try this or try something. Try brainstorming sitting down. So I'm going to walk you through how I schedule things on a weekly basis. So step one was I just grabbed a piece of paper and I wrote down everything that needs to happen in 1 week. So a lot of times these are just recurring tasks. So in the span of a week, what needs to happen? I didn't worry about when it has to happen, or what day or anything like that. I just wrote down what needs to happen. So things like this on this list include baths. Yes, I put something as simple as bathing my kids on this list because stuff like that was falling in the background. I put like family time and like quality, like playing with them or going and doing something, a fun special activity with them. I put reading on this for myself and for them. It was something, I enjoy reading, and it just always gets pushed to the background. Groceries were another thing that got put on the list. Exercise. This doesn't have to mean going to the gym, but just something that's active, that gets me up away from the computer. And then all of the business pieces. So for me, since I'm running multiple online businesses, there's a lot of odds and ends, and I wanted to mark down everything that needs to happen throughout the course of a week. Make sure that actually happens. I'm looking over my list here to see if there was anything else, stuff like church, if there's any, kid activities throughout the week, if they're signed up for any sports or any activities, making sure those go on the list. And I'm sure this will shift a little bit, as we go into the school year. So once I had my whole list of weekly tasks, things that have to happen every week, I then broke it down by day. And it was, again, I took another scrap piece of paper and I broke it down by day. And what was interesting was, as I actually did a couple versions of this because I started to write it down, and I was finding that what I was currently doing was trying to lump everything into like 1 day. So I was giving myself unrealistic expectations to accomplish more than I would ever be able to accomplish on a Monday, and no wonder I was feeling overwhelmed and feeling like it wasn't possible. So this allowed me, by breaking it down by day, taking that big long list and saying, oh hey, since I have a lot going on Monday, let's move grocery shopping to Tuesday. Or since I have a lot going on, I'm posting a lot of new content on Sunday, Monday as is. Maybe we can kind of shift things for different pieces of content to worry about that later in the week. So it was very helpful for me to just see it laid out for me. So when I have things listed by day, I know that then I can transfer it to my weekly calendar. So I'll show you here in a little bit. I have a weekly calendar. It's just a big desktop weekly calendar that I really enjoy. You can find them on Amazon. You can find them on Etsy. I believe, this particular one I got from erinCondren.com. but it's just Monday to Sunday, and there's a whole bunch of spaces to write stuff down. So how I start filling in that week, and the reason I go week by week is because as a mom of young kids, things change week to week, and running multiple businesses, stuff becomes pressing, and then stuff kind of falls to the back burner. And my husband's schedule can vary week to week, and it's just much more tangible to be able to look 1 week ahead and be able to manage that instead of expecting myself to go way further out. So I had my full list of all the recurring tasks. Then I broke it down into the days. Then I'm transferring that to my weekly calendar. I do keep my list of recurring like daily tasks so that I can reference that and copy that over. So I copy it over to the weekly calendar and can write those down, and then I can add in any of the extra stuff that we might have going on that week. So let's say, there's a dentist appointment that week, that gets added separately. Let's say my husband has a meeting on a certain night, that gets added separately. If there's anything special going on, I can still add it to that weekly calendar. And if need be, I can always rearrange the recurring tasks if I need to. But what I'll show you, I'll show you guys the actual calendar, and I'll fill out a little bit for you so that you see visually kind of what I'm talking about. So here's my weekly calendar. Like I said, goes Monday through Sunday. I wish it started with Sunday, but it works. So right now, all that's on here is the recurring stuff. So like I said, reading, cleaning, every day I need to put it on the list. And then other things, managing multiple Instagram accounts, it was helpful to be able to, I kind of use codes for myself. So Adore Them gets posted to Instagram every day. The Adore Them website gets switched over on Sundays. Social media gets scheduled either Sundays or sometimes Mondays, along with the newsletter, Huffington Post, Today Community. Other stuff I do, I'm able to also, with this, if I'm going to post multiple things to Instagram, I can sit down and do it in batch, and then I don't have to revisit it later. Groceries can go on Tuesday. Gymnastics is on Tuesday. Baths are must after gymnastics. And trying to get in some of that quality family time, and even if it's just like going for a walk or something, I can kind of combine those. Wednesday is sometime a little bit later, because usually Wednesday we have different meetings and stuff going on in the evening, which can tend to get busy. And same thing. So these recurring tasks don't seem quite as daunting when you spread them out through the week. Now, like I said, these are the recurring things. I did not include all of the other things that usually get added to the list, but at least it's a good base. And a lot of the recurring stuff that I will sometimes write, I'll sometimes write up here like what I'm working on for Adore Them, if we're working on new upcoming collections, a little bit of a to-do list up there as to what I need to work on, which articles need written, who needs reached out to, all of that stuff is not included here because it does vary and it can be squeezed in the moment. So what I'll do after I write out the recurring stuff and then fill in the set appointments that we need to do that week, I will go in and say, all right, this week Wednesday is looking a little bit empty, so maybe I will carve out a couple hours to write articles, design stuff for Adore Them, and make sure that I'm working ahead there. So it does vary to some extent, but I like that system about it. And like I said, I just have this scrap piece of paper that I can refer to and copy off of when I'm transferring it over each week. And doing the weekly stuff also gives me time to touch base with my husband and figure out what are we going to be doing for the week. It's just a good way for me to make sure that nothing's slipping through the cracks, that nothing's sneaking up on me, that I'm not planning to work Tuesday evening and then, oh, nope, my husband has an appointment or has to work late or has a meeting or something. It gives us that opportunity to plan out. And it also gives us that opportunity to plan out And make it a point to have that family time as well, to create that balance, to make sure, I'm looking here and that Friday, Saturday, Sunday doesn't get away from us, that I have that reminder to be like, hey, what's going on this weekend? Is there something local we can go do? Do we actually have a whole day free that we want to go take a day trip somewhere? And it helps. It helps to, add some of that work-life balance to it. And yes, it's effort to sit down and schedule these things. Yes, it's effort to take the time to write everything out, but it's so much easier to have everything written out than swirling in your head. I get caught in that a lot of times where everything seems more daunting if all the tasks and all the to-dos and all the wants are just in my head. So I love being able to get it down on paper and be able to adjust from there. So to recap real quick, write your recurring stuff, one long list, everything that has to happen in a week on a regular basis. Break that down into days to make it more manageable so that hopefully your days are kind of even. I would encourage you to give yourself a break day here or there, and to kind of combine that, combine anything that you can and do those bulk kind of things. And then on a week-to-week basis, write those recurring tasks, fill it in with all the, one-off things or those things that vary from week to week. And I hope that helps. I think it kind of will. So I'm also curious to hear if you have a system that really works for you. Do you like paper? Do you want stuff digital? I do use a combination of that. Like a lot of our appointments and stuff and meetings and anything like that that's not regular and routine does get added to Google Calendar, so that we have that there for reference and scheduling and all of that. So I'm curious to hear from you. Are you strictly digital? Do you do a hybrid of both? What works for you? And I encourage you to check out the rest of the work-life balance collection on adorthem.com this week. And otherwise, I'll talk to you later. See ya.